The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Hey there, everybody, and welcome to the Happiness Jungle TV show with yours truly, your Chief Happiness Officer, Lyn-Dee Eldridge. And about 2 years ago, I was introduced to this amazing woman who is now also part of my team. She is my editor. She is my publicist. She is a woman that has created her own empire, and I needed to share her with you today. If you ever feel that you are stuck in a rut and you don't know what to do, she is the founder and the owner of Transform Mastermind Group, and you could also belong to this group as I do. Without further ado, please help me welcome Elena Rahrig from Ohio. Hello, Elena.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me, Lyn-Dee.
You look absolutely precious.
Well, thanks. I thought I would do extra special things to my hair today just for you.
I just love it. I love it. You know, one of the things that I did is I create my event page on the Happiness Jungle Facebook fan page. And Elena says, oh, no, I want a different picture. I want a more professional picture. And I said, you are professional, but I like fun. So thank you for allowing me to use that photo of you. And you look just as much fun on that photo as you do right now. So I'm thrilled to share you with the world.
Awesome.
Elena, you know, I remember you sharing your story with me of when you decided to create your own empire. And I want to talk to you about that. Share with us your story so our audience can relate to you. And then we're going to go and we're going to really dig deep into who is Elena Rahrig.
Awesome. Well, I don't know if too many people will relate to my story because it is very unique. And so I'm guessing you want me to tell the story of my dad and where I started as an entrepreneur and how I came to where I'm at?
Sure. Whatever you want to share.
Awesome. So my parents started training me for entrepreneurship at 12 years old, and they would pay me to read books on life, business, and spirituality. And at 12 years old, I was wearing my little plaid dress, going to work with my parents because they owned a big corporation. And they trained me in a sink or swim fashion. So they didn't sit here and explain things to me. They put me into the office with their secretary and said, when that phone rings, answer it. And I was like, oh my gosh, what do you mean? How am I supposed to answer this? I'm 12. And the secretary was awesome. And back then we filed regular papers and she taught me just how to do office work. And once I mastered that, I got moved to a new part of the company and mastered that. So starting at 12 years old, I was definitely trained to be an entrepreneur. And my story is the opposite of most people. Most entrepreneurs, they are taught, go to college, get that 9 to 5. They do that for so many years. They get burned out. And then they're like, oh my gosh, I just want to be an entrepreneur. And they leave the 9 to 5 and become an entrepreneur. So what I did was the opposite. Is I went into entrepreneurship and thought, man, this is so hard. I think I want to just go to college and go the easy way. So at 21 years old, I decided to go to college and I went for corrections. I became a correctional officer and I lasted 9 months having a boss telling me what to do, what time I had to be there, what time I could go home. And I thought, okay, I'm going back to entrepreneurship. So here I am. And I've tried different things along the way. The mastermind group is my huge passion. And I see a lot of times entrepreneurs who come to me, they know exactly what they want to do and where they want to go. And for me, I was developing programs. They got into the schools and prisons, of course, right? Had those prisons connections, but schools and prisons. And I was teaching my programs. I was writing books. I believe I have 11 books and about 10 programs and academies now. And people started asking me, how did you do that? So I started just helping people and teaching people how to do what I do. And then the more I would help one person, they'd tell somebody else and someone else. And I thought, okay, now I'm going to have to create a business out of this and start charging people because I can't help everyone for free. So long story short, it started when I was 12 and experimented a little bit, but here I am training entrepreneurs on how to do business.
Oh my gosh, I love your story. I love your story for so many reasons. Your parents were very, very successful entrepreneurs. However, they never enabled you and they never made you feel like you were entitled to anything. They literally said, here you go. This is what you need to get done. And you're going to start now so you can understand that life isn't easy and you're not going to get handed everything. And then throughout your own accord, you decided to go to college and only to come back to where you're most passionate about. I love that. There are so many people that go to college, Elena, and they graduate. They have now a student loan. We hear about this all the time, and they never pursue what they went to college for, and they start going off on a different direction. And you kind of flipped that. You became an entrepreneur, and then you decided this is too hard. You go to college, and then only to come back into your phenomenal blueprint, if you will, of being a true entrepreneur, and that's exactly what you are. So you spoke about personal development and reading personal development. You know all about me. I'm very big into this personal development, and it helps people become who they need to become and to be their own identity. And you have struck gold with that, and I appreciate that. So share with us more, because you are the brains, you are the queen behind the Transform Mastermind group. And as I watch you, I watch others grow because of you.
Oh, thank you, Lyn-Dee. And no matter how much you study personal development, as human beings, we don't always apply what we know. And in fact, Lyn-Dee, I've hired you for some of my personal stuff going, I know what I'm supposed to do, but I need someone to make me do it. And here's the thing. I want to digress just a minute. I need everyone to really pay attention to this who are entrepreneurs. This quote, write it down, remember it. But when your personal life suffers, your business will suffer. If your business suffers, a lot of times your personal life will suffer. They go hand in hand. They affect each other, because when you're stressed in one area, you'll be stressed in the other and you'll miss things. So this is why it's extremely important to always have that personal development piece. However, going back to what I was saying before, we don't always apply everything we know. We know what we're supposed to do. And I always use this analogy. Go back to when you were a kid and your parent or guardian told you to go clean your room. And we thought, I don't want to clean my room. And in fact, as a child, I remember having to go clean my room, and I had this pile of dirty laundry on my floor, and I fell asleep on the floor on the pile of dirty laundry when I was supposed to be cleaning my room. And I remember my mom being so upset with me because I wasted all this time napping instead of cleaning. But we have consequences, of course. And so when you're a kid, this is what you need to do, go do it, or else here's the consequence. Well, once we become an adult, and we have an area of suffrage, say it's your marriage or your friendships, or entrepreneurs are very creative. It's hard to keep them structured and to do analytical tasks that they have to do. Well, we don't really have that parent saying, if you don't do this, here's your immediate consequence, right? It's, oh, well, I don't have to do that. I don't have, and oh, it's not that big of a deal if I don't set up my website just right, or if I don't get the firewall on it, or different things. But then maybe a year later, there's this major crash, major problem, or your business isn't going as good as it should be going because you didn't have someone saying, no, you really have to do this, And so when it comes to personal development with me, a lot of times when it's an emotional problem, I think is when we really get in our own way. And in business, switching from creative to analytical or analytical to creative becomes an emotional problem, right? So a lot of times that's where we struggle. And I really hope that entrepreneurs can start to wake up to think about these things that says, you know what, we can't really skip out on something even if we don't want to do it. For an example, like marketing. I don't think I've ever met an entrepreneur who says, oh my gosh, I have this passion to write books and coach people and have this awesome website and do all this. but man, that's fun, but I can't wait to get into the marketing. We don't say that, right? We go in our passion and then go, oh crap, we have to market? Ugh. And then we skip that because that's a lot of analytical work, right? So these are things that entrepreneurs really need to pay attention to and focus on, and pretend they have that mommy voice or that daddy voice that says, do this or else.
I love it. And they also need to understand how to delegate. For instance, I don't care to sit at the computer all day. That's not what I do. I go out, I speak, and I inspire, and I mentor. So thank you for being one of my mentees. But Elena, it's so important that we understand delegation, because if you're not good at something, you are wasting your time. I'm very big on time management, trying to do something that a marketer could do in half the time, if not 3/4 of the time, and it would be more productive for you. It would be more cost effective for you, and it will work better for you. So entrepreneurs, we need to understand that we also delegate. There's VAs out there. There's Elena out there. There's her team of wonderful entrepreneurs that do exactly what she just shared with you, specializing in things that you don't really care to do. However, they definitely need to get done. You can't just swipe them under the rug and expect them in the morning, poof, they're there, unless you have a team with you that's helping you build yourself and your brand. The other thing I want to touch on that you said is that we all need mentors. I have mentors. Everybody has mentors to hold us for accountability and to move forward in our lives in many, many different directions. So you're right, Elena. You can't just read a book or listen to an audio and expect that magic to happen right away. It happens over a matter of time. It's called the slight edge philosophy. But if you stick and stay and you do what the entrepreneurs do, you have the success. So I'm thrilled that you're part of my team. I'm thrilled that you're part of my life. And I got to go out to Cammie Baker, who's the co-host for the Happiness Jungle. She's also the author of Mingle to Millions. And she's the angel that introduced us together a few years ago. Absolutely. So again, it goes back to, who are you hanging around with? Who is in your inner circle? You're most like the 5 people in your inner circle. And that's one thing that you really do share with the Transform Mastermind group as you are helping leaders be developed.
Absolutely. And yes, thank you to Cammie Baker. I did publish her book, Mingle to Millions, because Transform International does have the publishing company. But I really want to capitalize on something that you had said prior about having an assistant. And there are things that we don't want to do. We don't want to do the marketing. And it is great to outsource. And thank God I'm in a position where I have assistants and a whole team of people who help me get everything done that we get done. But I also must bring realism to this conversation, because the one thing, Lyn-Dee, I know you've heard me say it, and I will always say it, is I will never forget where I came from. When I quit entrepreneurship and went to college, because there wasn't enough money, that it seemed like the resources weren't there. I was very young. People were not taking me serious. And I went as far as actually cutting my hair very short, dyeing it dark, so I looked older. And I'm telling you what, that hairstyle launched Transform, because finally I could walk in a room and people took me serious instead of being a woman who looks like I'm 12 with long blonde hair. So if you go back and look at those pictures, I really had to strategize going, okay, how can I get people to take me serious? And I used to wear business suits and it changed. But once I made a name for myself, I'm like, okay, I can go back to being me, let my hair grow out, be blonde and all that. But going back to not forgetting where you came from, not everybody can afford to hire things done. And we know that. And I know that more than anyone. And that is why I really started Transform Mastermind. Because when people originally came to me and said, hey, teach me how to build a website, teach me how to write and publish a book, and all the other things that I teach, everything you need to know about entrepreneurship since I was 12, all that information, I have always stayed organized, notes, and collected and have it to share now. When they come to me and I say, this program is $1,000 or this program's $5,000, and they're like, I can't afford that, or my spouse won't let me spend that because they don't understand my passion because they're a 9-to-5er. Like, we all run into these obstacles where there's just not money to spend. And I said, okay, we're going to do this a little different. So we restructured Transform because I said I will never forget where I came from. And I remember needing help and making phone calls. It's like $4,000 here, $5,000 here. And I spent over 50 grand in my education since when I was building what I have now, the company. And I thought, man, this is crazy. As soon as you spend 5 grand, you need to hire someone else for that. So that's where Transform Mastermind comes in. I say, you know what? I'm going to remember where I came from when I was like, is there anybody out there who will just help me for what I can afford right now? And I swear I'll pay them back later, but right now this is all I can afford. And so the group is $35 a month. And they have all access to me, forums and different ways to learn. And then they can buy the academies and programs at pay what you can afford. So there's no price tags. Once you're a member and you log into that membership portal, you see all the academies and all the programs, and you pay whatever you can afford. You type in what you're willing to pay me for that content. So it's such a valuable thing for entrepreneurs who feel a little stuck.
And I have to agree with you. We're not allowed to sell or to talk about any pricing. However, what Elena just shared with you, when she says all you need to do is put in the price that you could afford, and I am going to help you however I can, as long as it's not a ridiculously low amount, she means it. I am watching her help others that do not have full pockets be able to accomplish the things that they need to accomplish. And you're so right, Elena. At the beginning of any new business, normally we don't have a lot of funds, whether we have a spouse or no spouse. And because of your forum and because of your teaching platform, anybody that is not even, they have no idea how to conduct any marketing, social media, you always keep us right up to date with the changes and with the how-tos. So I have to say thank you, because you truly are an angel. And I hope that your organization, your group, they're all over the world. They're just not in the United States or in Ohio or in Florida. They're all over the world.
They are. And if you go to the website, you actually see the time clock. So you know where all of the members are and you know what time frame they're on, because we do have members who will reach out to another member. It's the middle of the night for them. So it's like, remember which member, where they're from, and look at that time clock so you know they're sleeping.
Yeah. You're just a world of gifts. You really are. You just bring it on. And, I love the title of our show. She created her empire. Because no matter what, even when there was a possibility that you felt like, what am I doing? You kept going. And there are so many people that quit. And that's why 98% of the world don't live in their true passion and their true desire, because they're so quick to stop. What do you say to them?
Oh, gosh, I have so much to say. So it's, entrepreneurs, and this is not said in a bad way, because I have done it myself and we all do it. We go in dumb and excited, right? We have this passion and this vision, and we're just like, let's just do this. If somebody came to us and said, this is everything you're going to have to do, then you would never probably have gotten started. Most of them wouldn't. So think about it when you go buy a house and you're looking at this house and you're going, you know what, this house is perfect, but we need to remodel this room and replace that floor. And you have a plan of what you're going to do to remodel that house. You buy the house, you move in, and you start to knock out that one wall that you said you want to knock out. Well, you didn't realize that now you got to do the plumbing and the electric, and now that wall makes you knock out this wall. So you end up having to do more and more to this house that you didn't foresee. And then you're thinking, we should have never bought this house. That's like entrepreneurship. It's like, oh, we're dumb and excited, we want to do this. And then you go in and you get overwhelmed and you're just like, oh my goodness. And with that, they get tired. Entrepreneurs get tired. They get discouraged. The main thing I think that discourages them is comparison. They must stop comparing themselves to other people who are successful. I did not wake up this successful. It took me years. I will be 37 in a month. I started at 12 years old, right? So it takes time. And so the other thing that I think that I see entrepreneurs really get trapped is they have like a 1 year, 2 year, 3 year plan. It really needs to be a 10 to 15 year plan. So when you're thinking about being an entrepreneur, then say, okay, I'm going to give this 10 or 15 years. And then if it's not working, you should notice it's not working earlier and start making these adjustments and just keep at it. But yeah, we can't be those entrepreneurs who are going to stop after a couple years.
Absolutely. Now, you said something, and that's great for 20 and 30-year-olds and even 40-year-olds. But now let's talk about the baby boomers that are around my age, and that's 58 years old. 10 years, I'm going to be 68 years old. So if I know for a fact that it's 68 years old, of course I'm going to want to be successful, hopefully retired by then. And but what can I do since I have to be more conservative, right? I have to be more conservative to be able to make that 10 years a 5-year plan.
Perfect. So the difference is this. The younger entrepreneurs, they don't have the bank account that a 58-year-old would have. So Lyn-Dee, you as one of my clients compared to a lot of the other clients I have, when you need something done, you can have an assistant, you can outsource. So your stuff is going to get done a lot quicker because you can hire a team. When they're younger and they don't have the financial resource is when they're really going to need that 10 to 15-year plan, because they are going to have to do some things on their own, unless they join us, right, in our team here. But they're going to have to do some things on their own because they don't have the money to throw at it. And so that's going to be one thing. You can do it quicker, Lyn-Dee, absolutely, and you have, and I've watched you, because you have the finances and the resources. And also think about, like I said, when I was in my 2021 going, no one's taking me serious, this is too hard, I'm going to college. Well, that's the other thing. Younger people have to spend more time proving themselves because the rest of the world treats them like they're young and dumb. And so you can walk in a room, Lyn-Dee, and you can own that room and everyone will take you serious and they will say, hey, let's do this. And there's like this unspoken trust because of your age. So older people can do business easier.
I knew there was a purpose that 58 was fabulous.
I tell you what, I'm pushing 40 and I love it. I get treated, the older I get, the more serious I am taken and the more business I can do. It's really hard when you're young. So
it is different. The platforms are absolutely different, but the millennials are rising and they're shining and they're really stepping up to the plate as well, to the point where even I'm looking for them for guidance, and especially when it comes to social media, and you're 40 years, I'm 18, you're a senior, which is bizarre to me because I don't feel that way. I feel like I'm 40 years old. I'm not taking you to 58.
Thank you.
But I appreciate what everybody brings to the table. And I love what you said. You had to color your hair. You had to dress differently. And for those that are out there that say, I can't afford to dress differently, you have Goodwills, you have consignment stores, you have garage sales. People are giving away clothes that still have tags on it that are your size. There is no excuse. You do not have to spend a lot of money to help perfect your professionalism.
I have to capitalize on that as well, Lyn-Dee, because I said it earlier, I'll never forget where I came from. Some old habits never die. Even at my level right now, I love thrift store shopping, and I have a lot of business dresses. When I wear them, people are like, oh my gosh, I love that dress. And I'm like, I got it for $1 at the thrift store, because you can hit up. There are wealthy people who donate to the thrift store, and these dresses, I know the brands. I'm going to tell you right now, this shirt I'm wearing is Express, and this is from the thrift store for $1, because our thrift store, and I just bought it last week. So even no matter what level you're at, save that money. Thrift store shopping, sometimes you got to dig. I will say you got to dig for the good stuff, but it's there. So I don't want to hear I can't afford the clothes from anybody, because I'm still doing it even at my level, because why not, right?
That's right. That's right. Because entrepreneurs also understand how to save money and build a bank account. So that is a phenomenal, phenomenal tip. And I'm so excited that you shared that because I too will go into a Goodwill. You just never ever know. You don't know. Sometimes you can't find something at the store. You wish you could. You saw it like a year ago. I guarantee you will find it at a thrift store. And that is really, that's financial knowledge right there. So kudos to you. I love you. I love your transparency.
I will tell you, I went a couple weeks ago down to Florida to visit one of my clients, one of our members, and we get down there and I said, I saw this really big Goodwill store. I really want to go. And she's like, you shop at Goodwill? I said, oh my gosh, you can find some really cool stuff. And so I walked out there spending like $28. And she's like, she's like, the whole weekend, she's like, I still cannot believe that you bought stuff from Goodwill. And I was like, that's right. It's good stuff. It's name brand.
It's good stuff. And you have a washer and dryer, so you could refresh it.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that. And that's like life, you know, we're constantly refreshing ourselves. We're getting into the washer and we're going like this and we're exercising our brain and our bodies. And then we go into the dryer and then we tumble around and then we come out and we feel, oh, so good. We smell, oh, so pretty. I love it. Elena, we're almost running out of time. I want everybody to truly understand, how do they get a hold of you, and share all your information for them.
Absolutely. So I'll go to, you can email me at info@transformmastermind.com. If you want to learn more about the membership stuff, you can go to you can go to transformmastermind.com and click on the sign up button. And our phone number, our business line is 567-259-6454. And I'm really happy I remembered that.
I know, right? And, you know, I know for a fact, because I'm up late at night, there are times, when do you sleep? And how do you look so beautiful with a little bit of sleep?
You know what? My ideal is 7 hours. I need 7 hours of sleep. If I'm below that, I'm really grumpy. If I go too much, I'm really lazy. So I just make sure I get that 7 hours, and then I take all my vitamins and I exercise and work out and talk to people who are happy and keep me energized.
There you go. Amen. Amen. Well, everybody, we are out of time. This is your Chief Happiness Officer with the Happiness Jungle, saying that we never said life was easy, but we did say that you could be happier. And I truly hope that you take everything to heart what Elena has shared with us today, so you can become the entrepreneur, the professional person that you truly want to be. Don't allow anybody to sit in that driver's seat. You got the steering wheel. Talk to you later, everybody. Bye-bye for now.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.